Okay, let's talk briefly about something. I want to talk really quickly about quick queries. Okay, so quick queries have been retired, everyone. So if you're one of those people who, like me, use the IPF number for your organizations to figure out what are the upcoming progress reports for the next 4 months, surprise, they're gone. Yeah, that's fun. So let me tell you a brief story about how I found this out. So I have a video coming out this week on RPPRs, all about for new research administrators, what's an RPPR, what do you need to know, things like that. So I record the video, I make the snap sheet, I write the documentation. This thing is beautiful. It's so full of detail, absolutely gorgeous. I have a whole section in there where I say, hey, listen, you want to stay on top of things? Here's what you do. Use the NIH Quick Queries option. They have all these great tools, blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. All done. Recorded the video, edited the video. Then on the Res Admin mailing list last week, right after I'm editing the video, like I'm literally in the middle of editing it, and someone says, hey, I noticed that the quick queries are gone. And I'm like, I'm about to be the hero. I'm like, oh, don't you worry. I just did this. I'm going to pull it up and show you that it's still there. So I go to Google, look for IPF number. Nope. You get that error message from ERA Commons that says, yeah, no, sorry, this is the wrong page. It's no longer there. So I tried looking for, the 6 or 7 different ways that you figure out over the years to find this particular page, thinking to myself, this has to be a mistake. Meanwhile, on the Res Admin mailing list, there's a conversation happening where apparently the NIH had sent out an email letting us know that quick queries were going to be retired. And when I saw that email, I actually remembered seeing that notification. But you know how it is. We get stuck in the middle of all of these things, and if somebody doesn't pull that out and flag it for you, it's not something that you'll necessarily register, as it did not register for me. So, the long story short, too late, is that I had to go in and edit that out of all of my documentation, all of the videos, all of the things, because the quick queries have indeed been retired. This doesn't mean, though, that you can't access this information, but it all does mean that it's going to be a little bit more cumbersome for people who are not already on the grant to be able to generate the reports they need to be able to stay on top of their progress reports. So, word on the street is that there is much sadness, not just within the research administration activity area, but also at the NIH among the grants management specialists and people who are actually involved in doing this on the other side. They too are dismayed at the loss of quick queries because, the quick queries are very heavily used. They're very heavily used. So despite the fact that they're being heavily used, they were still retired. So what I have been advised is that if you feel like you would like to see that come back, that reach out to your grants management specialist. They are not responsible for removing this. So there's nothing they're going to be able to do in terms of saying, I'm sorry that I got rid of it. Let me press that button. That's not why you're telling them. You're telling them because they are your voice to the Fed related to removing these things. And if enough people are clear about the fact that this provided them with value and they want it back and make enough noise, then eventually just to shut us up, they'll give it back to us. So this is not one of those things that you want to just say, oh, well, it's gone, and just let it go. If you want it back, say, oh, well, it's gone. Here, let me send a gently worded but clear email to my GMS letting them know that I would very much like to see this return. Here's why. If you're a research administrator and you're the one who's responsible for doing the RPPR and everything's in your court and the PI's court, then it's not as difficult of a situation because you're going to have all your PIs. You can still actually do this search. It just happens within Commons now. However, and I think it actually goes up further than 4 months. So when you do the search for your own organization, it actually lets you look, I think, into March 2025 for right now. So that's about, oh my God, almost a year, 9 months maybe. But you can't do that search unless you're an AOR signing official and have that role within the organization in ERA Commons. So that's where you're going to run into problems. And so what you're going to have to do for your admin staff. So let's say, for example, you have departments with a lot of admin staff who utilize this quick query routinely to be able to figure out when the progress reports were due for their particular investigators. You may need to send that to them. An alternative way of doing it would be to use an Excel spreadsheet. So like show them how to use an Excel spreadsheet that says basically, look, this is the end of the budget period. 45 days before that, the RPPR is due. 45 days before that, you probably want to start thinking about it and to getting it ready. So let them put like a 90-day flag in their own calendar for each of these projects so that they get flagged so that they don't need the IPF number to be able to just pull the list. However, I found that that list was very helpful when it came time to auditing. Not like, I guess auditing is the word, because I like self-audited every 3 to 6 months on various things, right? So like I was always auditing something for myself to just check and make sure it's all correct. So for my self-audit, I would typically run the report for the IPF number, because that would make sure that I didn't miss anything. If something had fallen through the cracks, maybe something was assigned to me, maybe a date changed, just stuff that happens that I didn't want to miss. Now I can do that again, because typically I have that access. But if someone doesn't have that access, then they're going to come to me to get it. And now that's adding administrative burden to me, because now I have to stop, do the thing. It's much easier when you can empower other individuals to be able to access this information as well. Okay. So just know this, the search for progress reports by IPF number is now no more, RIP, and talk to your GMS if you would like to have it returned. I'm not saying that it will get returned, but word on the street is that if you have the conversation, at least the word will go up the ladder to wherever it needs to get to. Okay.